This is Pod Populi.
Podcast for the people.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
The Great Love Debate. It's the Great Love Debate.
Hi again, everyone. It's Brian Howie. Welcome to The Great Love Debate, the world's #1 dating and relationship podcast. Since 2015, I am back here in the studios of Pod Populi, Podcast for the People. I am once again in the one in Scottsdale, Arizona. And as I've told you many times, Scottsdale is an old Native American word meaning bottomless mimosas.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I brought her in here today. She's been on this podcast a couple times before. She has not been in here in a while. She's been on our stage. You probably know her from her tenure. You were like the apprentice on Millionaire Matchmaker. Is that how we Ha ha ha. What were you? You were like her
I was
sidekick.
The queen of Millionaire Matchmaker.
You're the queen of with Patty Stanger back in the day.
Yeah.
I asked her. She was in town. She was in Scottsdale. I'm like, you want to come on my podcast? And she said, yeah. And she goes, you want me to send me some talking points? And what was my answer to that?
Sure, for my entertainment, because I will throw it in the trash.
Right. I'm like, we don't do. So would you do that on date? Would you be like, here are the talking points that I want to talk about? You
like,
probably would.
Sir, here are the things we can talk about.
Somebody brought that up. Like, would that be a plus that like, here are the strengths of conversations that I have?
Yeah, no,
Here's
that'd
the
be
things
really
that I know.
weird.
It would be really weird.
Yeah.
Same thing on a podcast.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What do you think of the current state of the date? You're in the back end of the dating world, so to speak.
Yes.
Looking at the machinations of it, and we'll get into your projects in a second. But
Okay.
What do you think? Where do you think we are now in 2022 versus pre-COVID?
I think that everything is different. I think it's even worse, obviously, because people were hiding behind their phones then. It's way worse now because if you're out, no one's even going to come over to you to approach you because they don't know if you're going to sneeze on them or you're scared to talk to them or...
That's true. The hug is out.
The hug is weird. Even touching. Even touching
is
your
weird.
hand. People... It's really messed up.
It's really weird. Even today I got some fist bump and I'm like, where are we in this? But that's true. Right. And if you're out now, a lot of people, rather than having real live people, so we used to swipe by walking around the bar 50 times. That was swiping.
Right.
Now they will be in the bar, sitting at the bar, looking on their phone.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Like there's real live people. The one thing I will say though about the current dating culture is a lot of people just dropped out and they haven't come back. They're just like, screw it. It's too hard. So the people that are out there now, they are happy to be out there again.
Right. Yeah. But there are also on the other end of it, there are people who would never, ever get on a dating app who swore they would never do it. And then they were like, I don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And they had to get on it because otherwise they can't meet anyone.
You can't. I know. It is a reality. And, one of our taglines in the show is get your head out of your apps.
Oh, wow.
We don't fully believe that anymore because there's just a pool of people that will only date on the apps or they will only meet somebody that way first before organically, that they're just not interested in making out with some dude in a nightclub and then give me your number and we'll go out Tuesday night.
Right. Because then the questions are you vaccinated? Are you not vaccinated? Where's your standpoint politically? Like everything has just gotten so weird.
The things that have come up in the last 5 years that have changed dating. Me Too happened.
Right.
Trump happened.
Right.
So people want to know where you stand on Trump before the appetizer.
Yeah.
They do.
Before the appetizer.
They really do. So Me Too took dating out of the workplace, which changed a lot of things. COVID happened. Like technology is ramped up. Metaverse has happened. Like a lot of things have taken place in 5 years that, the most significant events of the 50 years before that were probably the invention of the pill and the onset of AIDS. Other than that, it was sort of the same. And then, there's this thing called Match.com and that's weird and whatever. And now the last 5 years has just been like a tornado for people who thought they knew what they could do or wanted to do. And it's just different.
It is. I think that experiences, the only thing that I could say a positive thing that has come out of it is that people are more interested in experiences and they're like, okay, they're thinking it's not just about going out and like, oh, you look hot, I look hot. And it's about like, let's do something fun. Let's have a good time. Let's travel. Let's go bowling.
Bars now are set. There's axe throwing, and there's like the popular bars in a lot of places now have something going on that's slightly competitive. It's engaging. It could be group. It could
mental
break down.
Stimulation is now important.
It is important. And having an activity where you can involve each other. That's a great thing that has come out. That is a trend. I like it. You know, you spend a lot of time in Chicago. Chicago is very on the clock for dating. It is that first nice day of spring, and then you better get it locked down by October.
Right.
The rooftop thing happens. The world opens up. And the good thing about Chicago is it's always been a city where men and women did things together socially.
Yeah. It's very group.
It's very group. It's very co-ed softball. It's very a lot of stuff.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends that are on kickball teams, softball teams.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that is good. And so the people that are out there, we did miss the human engagement. The people who want to do that, they miss the touch. They miss the thing. Now, I'm not sure we can do that as much, you know.
It's just awkward. Because if you finally meet in person, honestly, like, do you touch, like, hey, should I give you a hug? I have literally said to even a girlfriend's sister that I met, I was like, I would give you a hug, but I don't know where you stand with, like, germs.
I know. Are you a
It's
hugger?
so weird.
Like, it's weird. Like, on a first date, I know people are putting their vax status on their dating profiles. They're putting Ukrainian flags on their dating profiles. They're putting no Trumpers on their dating profiles. They're putting things on the profiles that didn't exist 5 years ago. It used to be like looking for somebody who would do this and want to have 2 babies. Like,
let's get naked and run through the sunflowers together.
So
and
people
laugh.
are now leading with stuff that is not flirty. It is not fun. It is not romantic. And it's
boring.
like putting up this, like, this is who I am, and you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's also, it's shutting a lot of people out. And it's like, oh, this person's cold and, like, really rigid.
Right. So you're creating an environment that is cold and rigid.
Yeah.
And then the idea then of meeting that person who's cold and rigid out in real life doesn't seem that appealing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you nailed it, right? When you said it used to be who wants to have fun, run through the fields, have 2 babies, and laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Now it's like, who are you voting for?
Right. Maybe we'll laugh later. I need to get these 6 questions answered.
It's too much.
Like, what did you know, it's too much. We're an angry country right now. Yeah. We are angry online. We are everybody's always ramped up about who you are and what do you believe and what do you stand for versus that's not flirty.
No.
And dating should always start with flirty.
Yes. Like, let's flirt and laugh and have a good time. Like,
I know.
It's too, like, interrogation room. I'm going to, like, put a spotlight on you.
The compliment is gone.
Yeah.
2 women came into this podcast studio before, and they dressed kind of alike, and I was like, you guys look lovely. And then I had to think about it. I go, can I say that to you?
Yeah.
Like, is that okay? Like, I didn't know them, and they were like professional women, and they were talking about real estate or something in this podcast studio. Yeah. And my instinct was to tell them they looked good, which I would first think they'd like. Who wouldn't like that?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, they might be like, let's get out of here. The guy's a perv. Just because I'm like, I noticed their outfit. I shouldn't have to think about that.
Right. But unfortunately, today you do.
You do. And it could have gone like, it used to be you could say that.
Yeah. Now you can't because you don't know if it's going to be taken out of context.
I know. So the workplace dating is gone for the most part.
Yeah.
My mother was Miss IBM. So there was a beauty pageant in the secretarial pool.
No way.
It's back in the 60s.
I was like, what is Miss
It was like
IBM?
Mad Men. So that's how she met my dad. Like, he worked there as like an executive, and she was and they would have a beauty pageant in a company. It was like a big company. Imagine that today.
No, HR would be all over that.
But I bet a lot of women would like it.
Yeah, they would.
And they'd want to win.
They would want to win, but a lot of women would be like, oh, hell no. Like, this can't happen.
Because I can't win. If they thought they could win, they might be like, hell yeah.
Right.
But then it's like, no, and whatever. So I'm not saying that's a good environment. I'm not going to say that's a positive thing.
Yeah.
But that has changed from that time now where we could openly like, yeah, you look, oh, yeah, no. Versus, I can't even tell you I like that dress. I might get fired if I tell you I like your dress.
Yeah, I think back then it was just different. It was women got married and settled down and had babies, and the man went out and did the thing, and everybody had their roles. That's why, Miss IBM was like amazing then. But now,
yeah,
I want to say that I would like to see what would happen, but I kind of don't want to see what would happen.
Some women they come up to me at the live shows a lot, and they're like, I just want to be a stay-at-home mom, and the women in my law firm will crush me if I say that.
Oh, interesting.
She's like, I'm a lawyer and I went to Ivy League law school and I made partner and I don't like it and I want to that's probably the wrong word, but that's the women say that. They're like, I just want to like
tired.
Barefoot and pregnant, and they can't because the women won't accept that.
Right. But it's not about the women at her law firm. It's about her and what she wants.
You would think, but there's a lot of social bullying, subtle or otherwise, that make people behave a certain way. Are you going to do that? Are you going to eat that? Is he going to call you? Like, it all starts at 13 and it never quite goes away. This girl on girl crime.
Girl on girl crime.
I mean, I always say men prey on all of these insecurities. I'm not letting the men off the hook, but I don't think they cause them. A lot of them happen with these young girls.
Girls are mean.
They are mean.
Yes, they are.
And they create these insecurities that the men then don't know how to deal with or might even exploit. And then it goes to a place that is her whole life. So a man then is walking into a date or a relationship. Somebody's 35 years old, and he has no idea what came before. Right. He has no idea what kind of life she led, what kind of trauma she had, what kind of girl. And he's just like, hey, you want to get some food? And there's a whole lot of shit going on. I mean,
She's like, food? What do you mean, food?
Yeah, food. And, there's all sorts of triggers. Like, I'm not saying you should show up on a date with your list of prescription medications and your entire history. But it's hard now when a lot of that stuff is so omnipresent. And maybe it always was. And people are just open about it now. I made kind of a flippant comment about a year ago that I kind of have changed my mind on, that I was like, our grandmothers were all happy. They all seem happy. Right. And some people are like, they were wired to not speak up about the things they were unhappy about.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's probably true. And I was probably wrong to say that, but it was just like...
They seemed like they were.
They seemed like... They seemed like the housewife in the 50s was happy.
You know what's crazy? I found... My grandma used to run Macy's back in 30s, 40s, when Macy's was Barney's today or whatever.
Barney's is gone.
Oh, sorry. How about Neiman Marcus?
Macy's was
So Macy's was the
Nordstrom.
spot, right?
Yeah.
But even more than Nordstrom, it was huge. So I found all this paperwork from the rules and regulations, like sit up straight, make sure your tights are on correctly, wear lipstick, wear makeup, look pretty, always be smiling. And they were serious.
Oh, yeah.
It was so degrading
These
to
old
women.
school pamphlets, how to attract a husband.
This was real. And there was a newspaper article. I'll actually send you a picture of it when I find it at home. And it was saying how to keep a man, how to make your man happy. Always talk about him. Agree with whatever he says. I was like, oh my God, they're serious.
They are serious. All right, I'm here with Marisa Saks. I got to take a quick break. We're a little bit on the clock here, doing a little bit of a quickie episode with her. And we will be back right after this. And we are back, and we're talking about the current state of the date.
State of the date.
State of the date, part 2. Part of me thinks we're in a good place. I think the good thing about what's going on right now, there are more men out there that are trying to do the work and trying to figure you guys out.
Right.
You guys. Yeah. Trying to ask the questions, trying to read the books, going to therapy. There's more guys doing therapy now and being at least slightly more vulnerable than ever.
That's great.
Is it?
Yeah. Why not?
I think it's great too. The problem with that is we've created a very big group of what I call beta guys.
Right.
They're a little too in touch with their feelings and a little too woke and they're a little too sensitive, which means the alphas that always got the girls to begin with, they are killing it now.
Right.
Because the pool of alphas is smaller.
Yeah, that's true.
So the knuckle dragging caveman, he's getting laid.
Yeah. Very true.
So what do you do about that? What do you do? Because you want those guys to be the quote unquote good. Want those guys to have a lot of Aiden in them. Right. The women still want Mr. Big.
Yeah. They don't want Mr. Big.
They do.
He's a dick.
I agree. So?
No, they don't want him. Deep down, they really don't want him.
Deep down, they can't help themselves.
They don't want mean. Honestly.
No, mean is different.
Yeah.
Mean, just kind of
they don't want
somewhere
players.
Between confident with a hair of cocky. They do like that.
They like you. Okay, but there's a difference, and men need to figure this out quickly.
Which we don't know. I'm a man.
Right.
Teach me.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. It's going to take some time, Brian Howie. But yes, we want someone confident, but nice and kind and sensitive. Obviously, we don't want them to be a pushover.
That's a tough needle to thread.
It is, but you guys want something that's a tough needle to thread. Also, you guys want, all these physical perfection attributes, like a superhuman person that can like pump out 20 babies and still look like they're, 23.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
We want you to be complex in all the good ways. It's not unreasonable for her to want that out of us.
Right. And listen, it's not that complicated. It's actually really simple. We just want someone to be like kind, understanding, empathetic, but still like take the lead and be alpha.
Right.
But just don't be a dick.
Yeah, where's that line though?
Well, come on. You like guys should
I don't know. I'm just like, no, I was just passionate about it. And they're like, you're kind of a dick. I'm like, where's the line to me? I was like, they're like, you were yelling and you were, I was like, no, it's just, I wanted first class. I was entitled. I'm a diamond member. No, I don't know. Like, there's a difference between just, don't be like rude to waiters.
Well, don't be rude.
But there's a little bit about how being assertive and being like, we have to, just sort of taking care of things.
Yeah.
Without being a dick.
Well, there's a way to do it where it could be actually flipped in your favor. Like, you can be alpha and be stern, but still be kind and calm.
I get it. That's hard.
Well,
but the ones who pull that off, good. They should get the spoils. That should work.
Right. They get all the ladies.
They should get all the ladies. But you remember, the problem is you are trained as a man in your 20s and 30s. Being a dick isn't that big a negative. It only becomes a dick later.
Yeah.
So you spend a lot of time like, I was kind of a dick. I didn't care. I didn't call her back. She liked me anyway. Who fucking cares? And it really lowers the bar of male behavior. That happens in the South a lot. Because in the South, no offense to our Southern listeners, if you get to 30 and you didn't get married, if you get to 30 and you get divorced, the marriage failed. If you get to 30 and you didn't get married, you failed. That's still the perception. So the guy who's dating a girl who's 28, he can do almost anything. He's not going to get dumped because the societal and familiar pressure that she has, like, I'll make it work. He'll be fine.
This is just in the South.
Mostly in the South. It's still a thing.
Yeah.
This rise of the independent women and the rest of the North and the Northwest, the Southern mentality when it comes to dating, it's still that way.
Right.
It's still like you need to get married and have babies, and the male behavior knows that.
Right. Well, I think that, listen, there's no right or wrong. There's no right formula. So everybody should do whatever works for them. But at the end of the day, you need to have something in common to talk about.
That's the thing, is people don't know what works for them.
Right. Well, you have to experience it. Try it out. Try it on. See if it works.
The best way to do that is, like you said when we started, getting men and women to be able to spend time out of the house, not playing video games, not watching porn, not online chatting.
Yeah. Get
out of the house and spend time around each other so that the walls come down, that not everybody's an enemy and not everybody's prey.
Yeah. Well, I said on my last podcast I was on, I was.
You're on other podcasts?
Yeah, I
that feels like cheating.
You. I know.
Why would you do that?
Sorry.
Oh my God.
I was on Shot at Love. Are you mad?
Oh
at me?
no, Shot at Love's a good podcast.
Okay, yeah, yeah, with Carrie Brett. You know Carrie.
Yeah.
So, basically, what I was going to say is that I was talking to her about this exact thing. Take the girl to an arcade. Take the girl to somewhere fun where you guys can like show your competitive sides and laugh. Because you're not going to see that side of them on the first date.
Correct. Because most people want to have these first dates that are interview style and they're
weird.
Interrogative, and you don't know.
I would be probably very cold and very like, well, I don't know. Why are you asking me? It's like you have your wall up. You're not going to see me laughing.
Well, the other problem is the women, your people. You always say they hear 100 times that they want funny. Yeah. So you end up with this guy who's nervous telling dad jokes, and then she's like, "Oh my God, this is terrible," and he's nervous telling jokes that is not normally his thing.
But it's actually really cute when they're nervous. If the guy's cute and she's sexually attracted to him and he's trying that hard, she'll know, and it actually will be in his favor.
You say that, but a lot of times men, when they're nervous, tend to talk more.
But it's
women
cute.
Tend to talk less. So when he's only talking about himself, just babbling, streaming, she's like, "Oh my God, all he did was talk about himself."
All only talk about yourselves, always, nervous or not. Well, right?
I don't know. Enough about me. What do you think of me? No, the same thing. We are nervous, but nervous should be cute.
If she's sexually attracted to him, it'll be cute. If she's not, it'll be annoying.
Well, we don't know. How are we supposed to know?
I guess you'll find out at the end of the date if she says yes to go out again.
it does come down to that.
Right.
The men get the reputation as being the superficial ones.
Right.
If she's not sexually attracted to him, it's shot anyway.
Well, it's chemistry, right? You can't explain
How
what
do you-
chemistry is.
You can't, but
No.
he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
You guys
We
are
all
just, like,
think you
big,
think we're
dumb
gross.
animals.
Right. So we tell you, we'll meet you for a date. We'll tell you look good. We'll tell you you're pretty.
Right.
You'll say thank you.
Right.
We won't get anything back. So we won't know that you're sexually attracted to us or not.
Right. Well,
That's
you
hard
can
for the
tell through body language.
We can't tell anything.
Body language, eye contact. Does she touch your hand? Are her knees leaning in towards you? Is her body language away?
These
Is
are the
she
things
looking
that
at
the
her
women
phone?
does and whatever. He can't. I think if she touches his arm, I think that's a good sign.
Yeah, of course.
I think if she does that, there's a good, you can't see what I'm doing, like that. If you
Yeah.
just, I touched her very expensive nails,
My
like just like
expensive nails.
tip of the finger. That's better than holding the hand. This is better than this.
Okay, if you touch the tip of my nail, I might
Yeah.
be like, why is he touching the tip of my nail? I feel like he's scared to he's like half in, half out.
Well, I don't want to break those
What do you
expensive
mean?
looking. Are those expensive or are they cheap?
I
can't
mean,
tell.
They're not Lee press-ons, Brian Howie.
Well, you can't tell.
They're
though.
like normal if you go to a nail salon. They just look
That's what you
bomb.
choose?
Yeah. They have foil tips.
They're very urban.
Ooh, urban. Yeah, I like
But anyway,
them.
like gentle touch, I get if she laughs and she touches the hand. But if she's like, oh my God, he can't tell. He really can't tell.
Come on.
can't.
If she touches you at all, period, she's interested. Otherwise, she
If
would
she
be like,
touches you at all, period,
That
Your
would be-
Honor, she touched me. I thought she was interested.
it's body language, right? Like, I wouldn't.
It can be, but it's at a
Yeah.
level only dogs can hear. You think that what I did is like, oh, it's so obvious. No, it's not that obvious.
Right.
So
yeah.
he's flying blind. He's making bad dad jokes because
Okay.
he said he's ordering the wrong food. He's getting drunk, and then it all goes
And
bad.
don't get drunk because then you're just going to act
He's
like an
nervous.
ass.
Two
Right.
more.
Yeah, no. That's a bad move.
All right.
Because, okay, you want me to tell you how to fix all of this very quickly?
You speaking to the men?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
speaking to the men. Take the women out to do something outside activity so that there won't be an interview process where you're trying to touch the tip of her very expensive urban nail or like trying to figure out if she has any interest in you or not. So if you're outside and you're doing fun things and you're playing sports or you're being competitive, you're laughing, you're having a good time, you're not worried about, oh, does she like me? Does she not? You're not in your head is what I'm
Well,
trying
he
to
is
say.
worried.
No, but if you're out doing an activity, you're
Yeah, he's
not
gonna
going to
be
be
less
in your
worried.
head. Yeah.
Do we want to win, or do we want to let her win? If we're playing miniature golf, is it better if she wins and
I mean,
does a little dance?
yeah, we always want to win. Let the woman win, but don't be a pushover. Don't be like, oh, I'll let you win, and don't make it obvious.
And don't wipe her out.
Right. Yeah.
That's
no,
tough.
I mean, maybe you can like bet on something and be like, oh, well, if I win, I get this, or like make a game out of it. Be like, make it fun.
If I win, we have to go out again.
Right. That's
And if
cute.
you win, I'll take you out again.
That's cute.
Yeah, that is cute.
Even if she wasn't really that sexually attracted to the
Yeah.
guy, that might give him a couple points.
Here's the key that
Yeah.
every guy wants to know. If she's not sexually attracted, because I hear that, if she's not sexually attracted to him in the first 20 minutes, can that change?
Yes, it's changed for me. I
It
said
has.
absolutely no on a first date. I was like, ew, hell no. And then somehow I got talked into going out with him again on a second date, and everything changed. I have no idea.
Probably because he was less nervous when you went out a second time.
I was
Some of the
like-
walls came down.
Yeah, the walls came down. I was like, oh, I'm so confused.
So
right
it's
now.
possible.
It is
because we
possible.
all watch these rom-coms where she's like, ew, gross, Happy Gilmore, he's a jackass, and
Yeah.
then suddenly they're in love.
Yeah, you
and we
got it.
cling to that.
You got to get the second date.
Well, that's why a lot of the women are like, why does she keep asking me out? I said no.
Well, actually, that could work in their favor too because persistence is key. I
So
mean, unless you're being
you're-
annoying, don't be annoying.
You're pro persistence.
I am. I like it.
I am
like
too.
Yeah, I think it works. I had this guy I dated in college. I was like, no, ew. He was like the manager at the bar I worked at. I was like, absolutely not. Never in your wildest dreams is this going to happen. He would not leave me alone. He's like, please just go out with me. Let me take you out. Let me take you out. One dinner. Finally, I gave him after months.
Yeah.
He was my boyfriend.
That's a good point about the one dinner. We believe if we could just get, quote unquote, the job interview,
Right.
we could get the job.
Right.
We talk about the problem with online dating. He can't get the chance to get that opportunity. He thinks if I can get her offline and
In
present
person,
myself,
he can book the
she
role.
will like it.
Right.
No matter what. And a lot of times, like, she doesn't fit these characteristics. I'm not going to give him an opportunity. He wants the audition.
Right. Well, I'm speaking to the men. Take her out on an activity. going back to caviar lifestyles, the date is planned before you even have the conversation. So it's not endless. Hey, how are you? What's going on?
All right. There's the opportunity where you plug caviar.
Yeah, I'm
lifestyles.
plugging. I'm
Plug
already
it. Go
plugging.
ahead.
Yeah, I didn't wait for you to tell me to plug. I'm going to plug.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plug away.
Okay. Caviar lifestyles.
What is the philosophy?
It is finding similar-minded people for dating, first off. And then obviously if you're looking for new friendship, or, you know, if you're in a relationship and you want to meet other people in their own relationship, to go out for like double dates. Or
is it a good move to go fish in the friendship pool and then try and turn it into something else? Or once you're labeled as the friend, you're the friend?
I mean, it could be either way, but usually if you're labeled the friend, you're labeled the friend, unless like...
Don't go in that pool.
Yeah,
I don't know. Kiddie pool. That's the kiddie pool.
That's the kiddie pool.
Adult
There's
Swim.
a lot of pee in that kiddie pool. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
That is a good idea. It is forcing people to be social.
Yeah, so you're swiping. I'm plugging again. You're swiping on the app for the activity. So you're like, oh, he likes this too. Oh my God, nobody else likes. Would you say pickleball earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, so pickleball. Maybe there's a girl out there who's like really into pickleball. Nobody even knows what that is.
They do.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's a thing.
Okay, it's a thing. Would you say it was the rage? Is that what you said?
All the rage.
It's all the rage. That's all the kiddies are saying in the kiddie pool with all the pee. Okay, so do an activity. Then you won't be sitting there and weird and awkward and getting wasted. Just interrogation.
Do an activity
style.
that you're not, like, if you're clumsy, don't do ballroom dancing.
Right.
She probably won't think it's cute.
Yeah, no, don't do that, because then everybody judges you on your dancing skills of how you are.
Rhythmically.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Plug the rest of your world.
Okay. I am on all social platforms at Marisa Saks, MARISA and our application on Apple Store and Google Play is Caviar Lifestyles. It is an application where you swipe on the activity to meet with like-minded people. It's awesome. Check it out. We're rolling out in LA, Miami, Chicago, Boston for Carrie Brett, and London first.
There you go.
So, yeah, you guys just DM me and tell me your likes, your wants. And
slide on into her DMs.
Slide on into those DMs.
All right. See, we still got it.
Yeah, we do. We picked right back up.
That's right. Like old times. All right. As far as us, like, share, follow, please review this podcast. Your reviews mean a lot in the podcasting ecosystem. Go to greatlovedebate.com. Our live tour schedule, the next show that I believe will be happening as you listen to this, City Winery, September 21st. Tickets are probably sold out, but give it a shot. citywinery.com, greatlovedebate.com. Shoot us an email, greatlovedebate@gmail.com with all your questions, thoughts, or if you want to slide into Marissa's DMs. Because, as always, at The Great Love Debate, we never stop making love. See you next time.